Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Down in the Country podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Reed, and today we are joined with an up and coming country music artist, Carly Tefft. Thank you so much for your time today, Carly.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. And what got you into the genre of country music?
Oh my gosh. Well, my parents were always having me listen to some great songwriters. Carly Simon, who I'm named after, James Taylor, the Beatles, but also growing up in kind of the pop punk era, I was listening to Paramore and Third Eye Blind, McFly, as well as some great singer songwriters, Gavin DeGraw, Colby Calais, Jason Mraz. So all that kind of transpired into when I turned 17, I actually saw Keith Urban and I saw him be a rock star and tell a story. And that's when I knew
Mhm.
that's what I want to do. I thought you had to just pick one. And so it was super cool to see that. And that's really what inspired me to get into country music.
Yeah. And awesome. And how I actually came across your work in particular was there was a Spotify playlist that was curated actually by another country music artist who I'm not going to name for privacy reasons, which is how I found out about your song Polaroid at 23, which um, I will be the first to admit, like I've been playing it like nonstop because it's that catchy.
Yeah,
Um, I'm gonna play like a 30-second clip of it, just so that people can have an understanding of kind of who you are as a person and kind of what this song signifies and kind of the story behind it.
awesome. I found a 3x3, cut off sleeves, and an airbrush tee. Still got it. It was 100 degrees. Florida keys, I still can't believe I haven't lost it. Low tide, sunrise, spring break, good times, staying up all night. I don't remember it all, but if I could go back to this, back when I wanted this, kind of shot that never came my way.
As soon as that crescendo to the chorus, I was like, I got to keep playing this. Like, I
Yeah, it's
can't.
so good.
No, but it was what I did. What I do really like about it is kind of, kind of what life was like before we entered adulthood and kind of how much simpler life was. And, life turned busy. But, songs like Polaroid at 23, it kind of makes you realize, hey, it's okay to like take a break and to like smell the roses and to observe what's around you because, you're not going to be on this earth forever. So I really,
Totally.
that's really what I really thought of when I listened to that single for the first time.
Totally. Yeah, that's exactly when we all got in the room. James, Chris, Todd, and we just I was jamming on some chords, and I was actually listening to a Morgan Wallen tune at the time, and James hopped on guitar, and we were both kind of jamming to this upbeat kind of thing. And it was funny because it was a freezing day in Nashville. It had just snowed, and but here we were just writing a really upbeat kind of summer song. And I said, guys, this would just be so perfect to release like right around spring, summertime. And the more we were writing the song, the more I kind of realized, wow, this is kind of a song that I relate to, something, I've been through. And I think it does a great job of not being overly specific, but there's elements where, oh, well, I can relate to this line and I've been there, or I've been to the Keys in Florida, or, I remember, that salty kiss from whoever it was. And so
Hmm.
I think there's some really cool moments that just can be relatable, and ultimately that's what I want to do with my songwriting and my artistry. So I'm just grateful to be a part of the song.
Hmm. And what I you know, the f what I really liked about the song is that you added kind of that country feeling that you would normally hear from a country song, but then you kinda added that rock piece to it as well,
Yeah,
and that's where it seems like the industry is going, is kind of how do you mix both of those genres together and still call it country music?
yeah. I think, in my opinion, ultimately for me, it's all about the story. And in Nashville, that's all you hear is just it's about the song, it's about the song, it's about the story. And ultimately, if there's so many ways that a song is going to become a hit, right? But
Uh-huh.
ultimately I think the theme is obviously there's a strong melody. I think that's first and foremost, a strong melody, but also there has to be some sort of theme that folks relate to. I was just listening to Nate Smith earlier. You know, "You Set My World on Fire." I mean, who can't relate to that song? You know, Jelly Roll, even Hardy. You know, just having a bit. There's definitely a heavier sound coming on, and perfect example. One of my good friends, Royal Lynn. She does an incredible job with her music, and so it's super cool to see. I still feel like my place is a bit more of like the pop punk instead of like the heavier rock that is, you know, that's coming up now. But I think it's all a part of this overarching, you know, theme of what's happening in country music, of just taking elements of great genres with
Mm,
a good story and a good theme that folks can relate to. So that's what's important to me in my artistry and my songwriting, is that's going to be authentic to me, because I grew up listening to, you know, "Never Let You Go" by Third Eye Blind, and you know, that's when I'm going to the beach, what am I going to put on? That's the song I want to put on. And a song like "Polaroid at 23," I feel so grateful to have written, because I really believe in the song, and I want to turn it on when I'm going to the beach because it fits that mood. So I think it's a blessing to be a part of a project with incredible people, and a project you believe in.
mhm. Yeah, and it's what I also really liked the video, and I think the video really was a great visual representation to the audio. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't very complicated to understand kind of why the setting was chosen, kind of what the elements were. Um, it was a very easy storyline to follow. And I know it was like a very short part of the video, but I really loved the shades portion of
Yeah.
it.
It's funny because before we even shot the video, my friend Austin, he has two companies, S Force Watches and Super X Apparel, and I saw him post these sunglasses. And I just said, dude, like, I just wrote this song and I don't even have the music video yet, but like, can I use these for the music video? And he's the best. So I hope y'all go follow him. And so I knew those were going to be a part of the video. And it's funny because I'm not even a big visual person. Like, I feel like creatively that's my weakest point, is is visuals. But if I see something, like, I'll know. But
Mm,
between that and the director, his name is Justin, he's absolutely incredible, fantastic person, just oozes creativity. He had an incredible storyline where, of course, we could have gone to Florida, we could have had the beach shots and the, you know, all those things that the song says, or we could describe a moment that is relatable to so many,
oh no.
you know, on the boat or on the beach. From, oh well, here's us in the kitchen making pancakes, and here I am by myself now, when, you know, when you're reminiscing, like, you know, I remember when, you know, those were some really good times. So
Mm,
yeah, I'm just super grateful that Justin, the director, put together an incredible team. He's a part of Rusted Lantern production, so you guys, you know, make sure you follow them, as well as Penny LaBelle. She helps style all the outfits for the video, and just grateful that I've gotten to know incredible small business owners, and I
mm.
view myself in the same way, so that we can all work together and make something really special.
Yeah, and the song, we could have just an entire podcast conversation on that one song. But it kind of really reminded me growing up, being originally from Texas, we had the blue bonnets that would come
Yeah,
up seasonally. So that's kind of really what it drew me back to.
that's awesome.
And yeah, there's another song too as well that I actually really enjoyed listening to as well. I might have listened to it um, more than once, but overnight too as well. I'm gonna play a similarly. I'm gonna play a 30-second clip just to kind of let people hear the differences between the two songs.
Awesome.
My friends don't know what to say anymore. They just sit there quiet,
TV breaks the silence. I can't figure out why they want me around. All I am is pieces. Maybe that's what grief is. Ooh, I never saw it coming.
That was that guitar opening. It like drew me into the. Well, I was like, what is Carly gonna say next?
Yeah, yeah, that was a really personal song and very close to my heart. I wrote with Jess Kingray and Foster Farrell, and he did an incredible job with that guitar part. And Jess just, I mean, the two of them really were incredible listeners, listening to my story of how I lost my mom a few years ago, and how just grief can overtake you, and it can become your identity. And for me, I know I lost myself for a bit, just between all the sadness and being a caretaker. It was a really difficult period in my life. And when it's interesting, because I'm the kind of person, when I'm going through something that intense, I can't really multitask and write about it at the same time, because it's almost too much. So I knew, obviously, this is something I was going to write about, and just the right time came with the right people. And we created something that's been I mean, the response has been overwhelming. And I'm grateful that I'm a part of something that's helping others through their grief journey.
Yeah, because it kind of really, I've had situations happen to me before in my life, and I was like, it's good to know, that you're not the only one who
Hmm.
might be struggling with with there's at least one person out there that probably excuse me, suffering from similar situations that you are.
Totally. Yeah, we're not alone in this life, that's for sure. So yeah, overnight is just a song, no matter what kind of grief you're walking through. The loss of someone, the end of a relationship, the end of a season in your life. And to reflect and say, as much as you want to move through the pain quickly, it doesn't always happen that way, and that's okay. And
Mm,
that's what I've had to learn is grief is a lifelong journey, and that's okay.
yeah. And particularly with the songs Overnight and then Polaroid at 23, how do you, Carly Tefft, how do you want to contribute to the country music genre conversation?
I think between my story of loss, and faith, and as well as standing up for what I believe in. It's been, I mean, God has trusted me with so much, and I'm very grateful through through it all, that He has trusted me with connecting with others through my music and through who I am as a person, so that other people can feel strong in their beliefs and their faiths and in their emotions. And it's interesting, because someone actually had said, I mean, of course, there's haters everywhere, right? But someone had said on Twitter or X that, oh, a song like Overnight, that's why this country is so weak, because of songs like this. And it just made me sad, because I don't think there's anything wrong with expressing, hey, it is hard. Life is hard, for sure. This song is not saying, hey, let's throw in the towel and give up and not live anymore and not contribute. This song is about how much love there is. Grief is just love with no place to go. And I think it's a beautiful thing when you can reflect on grief in a song like Overnight, when you can reflect on good times like Polaroid, when you can, say, I'm going to stand up for what I believe in, like in freedom in this country. And it's there's a song for every kind of feeling and emotion. So I'm definitely grateful to be able to contribute in that way, and hope that others feel the same.
And to bounce off of that, how do you kind of like what do you want people to understand about like country music? Like what are some misconceptions that you think people have about the
Oh,
genre?
yeah, people think that it's just honky tonks and trucks and cowboy hats and drinking beer. and it is those things, but it is also the hard things. I mean, if you look back at Waylon Jennings songs, at George Strait songs, at Johnny Cash songs, Loretta Lynn, Dolly Parton. I mean, these are songs from real places that, I mean, all those people had incredible journeys, incredible stories. And I know I didn't, like I said, I didn't grow up, with a truck in my family, but I grew up having my own story. And to me, that's what country music is. And the genre of country music, it can be anything from old school Taylor Swift to now Nate Smith to Jelly Roll to Lainey Wilson to Carly Tefft. And I think there's something in country music for everybody. Truth be told, I mean, we have Shabuzi now. Like that, I did not see that coming. And and it's so cool to see how things evolve and to say, to write. I just hate when people write off country music as a whole, because there's so much for everybody. They can find their own kind of genre within the genre.
Mm-hmm. And one of my last questions that I do have for you is like, how do you want to be remembered, not just as a musician, but as a person in relation to country music?
Yeah, I mean, definitely God first, 100%. Just that I was able to turn to Him and put my trust in Him with not just my career, but with my life. And it's easier said than done, for sure, even for someone that does consider themselves saved, and I am saved. Um, because there's a lot of things that are scary, right? Putting your heart and soul on a piece of paper and then releasing it, hoping that, I hope people are going to relate to this, to going through a cancellation last year. I never saw that coming, but ultimately, that if you have your faith in something greater than yourself, and that's Jesus to me. For me, it's going to be okay, because we know that He uses everything for the good for those who believe in Him. So that's ultimately, I want people to look at me and see that I'm looking up.
No, that's very powerful. And regardless if you're religious or not, it's important, for people to have, I think too as well, like having some sort of support system, regardless of what that looks like.
Yeah.
And where can people find more about you, Carly, and kind of what projects are you working on?
Yeah, so it's pretty exciting. So Polaroid at 23 is still rocking and rolling. You can check out Overnights on my Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen. I have a couple cool like behind the scenes stuff from Polaroid that I'm about to release. There's also more music coming this summer, and I will hint that it has to do with a holiday coming up in July. So you should definitely stay tuned. You may know the song already, and but it's going to be a little bit of a twist on it. So I'm so stoked and grateful that I get to be releasing music that I love and believe in, and would just love people to continue to listen to it. And you can find me on all the social medias and YouTubes and whatever else there is.
Awesome. No, that's great. Be sure to check out Down in the Country podcast on YouTube, which is where we will be posting. That's the social media site that I'll be looking at the most. Thank you so much again for your time today, Carly.